Michael Mealing and Ben Smith are going to talk about the past, present, and future of the Moon Society. And Ben is going to talk about membership in the virtual meeting space. And then Mealing and I swapped times for his convenience. Okay, all right, thanks a lot. Ben, Michael, you're on screen. Take it away.
So, yeah.
Hi, Mike.
So we're going to kind of do a bit of a recap of a talk that I gave yesterday for all the new, both panelists and some of the attendees. And then Ben and I are going to talk a little bit about the how the society works and how to get involved and how to join our Slack and jump in all of the rooms that we have and discussions that we have. But one of the things that's become very obvious about at this conference, especially comparing it to the content from the last conference, and what's been going on in the industry over the past, even just the past year, there is a tremendous amount that's going on, even just the presentation that we just saw and some of the movements within the DoD national security side of things. Our industry is very quickly changing around us. As pretty much anybody at this conference will attest to, it's becoming very difficult to keep track of what's going on. And it is going to be getting far worse. The worse is a bad word. Far more interesting is, I think, the best way of putting it. Especially coming up in my talk after this, we talk about Starship. Our ability to impact what's going on, provide services, and provide a society for lunar, the moon, is changing. And so one of the challenges that the society has been discussing is, what does a society look like going forward? What problems is it trying to solve? What problems does the community feel that there needs to be solutions for that the society can provide? So we're looking for feedback from everyone here at the conference as far as the society acting as a focus for not just the people, the layperson that's interested in the moon and lunar development, but also people in industry that are professionals in this area. What can we do to help you do your jobs and advance the entire industry? So like I said, we're at a bit of a crossroads right now to figure out what that looks like. And this conference was one of the results of that kind of discussion, reviving something that hadn't happened in several years in response to the refocus on the moon during the past 5 or 6 years. And so I wanted to get some thoughts from Ben on, especially giving his talk with some of the things in terms of lunar development, not from the top down, I've got a $10 billion budget and I'm going to go do something, but from the lower end of what can I do for a lot less money. Can you give us some of your thoughts for one of the challenges that the society is facing, but also some of the opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely build on what you said. We need to figure out what we can do to add value and move things forward. And I would say the corollary to that is, we need leaders to add value and move things forward. Because right now we've got a very small team and everybody is full up and nobody's got bandwidth to start new projects. And so if you want to see the Moon Society do some great stuff, then not only become a member, but actually help us do the great stuff. And I emphasize leaders, because it'd be great to get volunteers, that would help, but we need people to actually run these programs and manage the volunteers. And again, our small team does not have the bandwidth for much more. So that's kind of where we are. That's the bottleneck. In my presentation, I mentioned that anybody can do research, anybody can do science. And I think that the society could definitely expand on that and be like, anybody can move lunar development and settlement forward. Even if you don't have any training or facilities, or there's still stuff you can do to help, because a lot of the really mundane, non-sexy stuff is not getting a lot of attention. Everybody wants to build rockets, and that's getting a lot of attention. But it was mentioned at the last LDC that rockets aren't the problem, payloads are the problem. So there's a lot we can do as a society, but we really need money, and we need volunteers, and we need leaders.
Yep. Yeah, we need the leaders, but one of the things that we do have is we have some of the infrastructure.
We do.
We have a 501c3. We get to do things. We can even lobby to a certain degree within that structure. We have a communications infrastructure. We have all those things that someone would need to be able to set something up and run with it, and all that support structure is there.
Yep,
you don't have to go recreate it.
Yeah, we could definitely be like, come here with your passion, with your energy and your ideas, and we will help support you with it.
So that's some of the feedback we're looking for. Some of my general thoughts about what some of the things that we can do. I do think that as an organization, we can take a bit more of a lead when it comes to political conversations. We can do lobbying to a certain degree within what a 501c3 can do. We can't lobby for specific candidates, and we can't lobby for specific legislation, but that's the way, for example, the Alliance for Space Development, which the society is part of, does all the time. We're all the time talking to Congress people, and it's the place where NSS and Planetary Society and Mars Society and all the other ones are out there. I think we're up to about 24 different organizations that are involved. We do that quite a bit, but the same way the Planetary Society will send about 200 people to the Hill, the Moon Society can do the same thing. And I think it would have a lot of impact, because most of these Congress people don't even think we exist. They think the moon is boring. Like, no, the moon has a lot of things to it, and we actually have people that want to be involved. The other one of my general thoughts is acting as a home for various lunar industry things that need to get done, whether it's spin out groups from the Lunar Surface Innovation Consortium, or small working groups that may spin out of other organizations that need a home and would like to be able to take donations, because we do have the 501c3 status. If you're doing something and you need the infrastructure, it's very easy for us to be able to do that. And so I think that's one of the things it's one of the models that came from the Space Frontier Foundation, was advocates could spin up new projects underneath the foundation. And it's something that, for those of you in the industry, if there's a particular special interest group or a topic or anything that you feel isn't being addressed elsewhere, bring it over to us. We'll sit down and talk about what you need and get it running.
Yep. Yeah, we could definitely put that together. Like I said, we would need to have people willing to actually run that stuff, though. Yep. So that's, again, where the bottleneck is. Lots of great ideas, lots of stuff we can do. We need to get through the bottleneck.
Yeah, because I think as everybody in this industry, when you're involved in any of the advocacy organizations, with the exception of a very few people, none of these things are our full-time jobs. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Does anybody have any questions on the society, or how we run things, or what we're capable of? If you want to go, send those to the Q&A or the panelists to send to the chat. If not, I think I might do Michael Lane a favor and get the schedule back on track.
Yeah, we can give him a minute back.
Yeah, we can give him a minute back. Which is sort of the reason why I decided to flip with him for this slot, because it was just easier to keep going.
If anybody does have any questions, like, these are important topics. So if anybody has any comments or questions, I don't want to squelch that. So does anybody?
I had a question for Michael Lane.
Oh.
That domain you indicate is very interesting, also from another topic that is a pet topic for me, and that is planetary defense. In any case, one of the things we learned from Mehan's treatise is agility. Now, anyone will tell you that it's going to take weeks to get to some of these places using conventional propulsion. I think, is there a real push towards nuclear propulsion that is being discussed now more than?
It really is. I don't want to derail this conversation very much, but there was a very important meeting last year in May that I attended, and Michael and I are attending this year, actually next week. There's a lot of interest in any flavor of building higher energy systems, whether it's nuke, whether it's RTG, propulsion, on the moon, whatever. The phrase that came out of the meeting last year was power in space equals power in space. And I think you can't ignore that. That's a very important, succinct way of looking at it. And out of that meeting last year, there were 8 different federal documents that evolved from that, so national policy documents that evolved from that meeting. So you're going to see more and more nuclear conversations in space.
Yeah, I at least saw one project that's suggesting they want a full propulsive test by 2026.
Yeah, it's definitely on its way. It's developing technology for sure, but it's going to be a part of the mix. All right, I'd love to talk to you more about this later on, sir.